outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
With beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets.
On the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. Discussing that heat in the street, hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what
All
you need.
alone.
Vitamin J. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin J. Vitamin J, got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. Try to run the town. Tell them no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as they head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's about smoke, then we talk all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Check it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right up the seat. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now. Mad struck start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for clout. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock glitz, know they look how I freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just a formal warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the game, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them bills on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. To reload the clip and record the clip is go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP. Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on vitamin G.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 223 of the Vitamin G podcast. I am your host, Pharaoh, and today I have Nappy. I know our stragglers will be in, but for now, it's just us two. So Nappy, how have you been? How have your holidays been? What have you been playing?
All right, guys. Again, it's a pleasure to be back. Happy holidays to everyone. I hope everyone's holiday season is going fantastic. As for me, I have been very busy with family stuff, which put me behind on controller reviews. I still got to do a controller for you for the GameStar SE controller, which recently got an update that now this controller is now the fastest controller to use in your Xbox Series S and X. Now, because the next update has unlocked the pulling rate of this controller to 1,000 hertz, making this a less than 1 millisecond response time on input latency. So, and it has Hall effect joystick. So now this thing is even a better reason to buy this controller. Is now because you can use this as competitive reasons. Nope, it's wired.
Okay.
Well, also, speaking of wireless, Turtle Beach is actually making a wireless Pro controller for Xbox Series X.
Okay.
We're going up for $190 December 15th.
Is that certified? Is that controller in your hand certified?
Yes, it's actually certified. Turtle Beach is actually a certified partner with Xbox.
No, so the one in your hand. Is that one certified?
Yes, this is certified. Okay. This is certified.
So yeah, the new
certified Xbox controller.
That third
I forgot. I gotta put that out.
Drop. Yeah. So.
It's been affecting some controllers. Like the Armor X Pro apparently has been so far working. Mm-hmm. There's not too many people that have issues with it that I heard of. So. Okay. Also, I got the Scuff Envision Pro controller. So this is the PC only controller, a Pro controller that's made by Scuff for PC gaming. This controller, it has 11 programmable buttons. You got these 2 buttons on the sides right here, 4 buttons on the back, of course, and you got these 5 buttons down here that's also can be programmed. Very interesting controller. Of course, Big One reached out to me and asked me to review their Rainbow 2 controller, so I got a free controller from Big One that I got to do a review on. And last but not least, I have GameStar's two controllers that I have to review. So as you see, I've been swamped with a lot of controller reviews during the holiday season. So
gives you a lot of reasons to game.
I have a lot of reasons to game and a lot of reasons to do controller reviews. Oh, I got one more controller review. I also, oh god, it's like controllers around me left and right. Also got this controller. So the company Big One has made a controller that's basically the Zeus Pro controller, which is very similar to the Zeus controller, except this controller has Hall effect joysticks and 1,000 pulling rate. So yeah, that's like Kratos. 6 different. Yeah, I also bought the Kratos shell for this. So it's called. This is for PC, Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. And this is just another controller I got to review. So as you see, I got a lot of reasons to game. I got 6 controllers to review, which is a lot. So I gotta get to my review and also hang out with family during the holiday seasons.
All right.
As far as video games, I have played and beat Fate Samurai. I am very new to the Fate series, so I do not know anything about Fate whatsoever. Apparently, it's an ongoing genre of generations of these great legendary generals and heroes.
Yeah, I heard it's a lot to that series.
Yeah, and this new one, you actually don't get to you get to play as them, but they're not the main character you play as. You play as a samurai.
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting as you got these like beefy like Fate mystical heroes, and then you just play as this normal person that eventually levels up and gets on par with the other general heroes. It's pretty interesting, but yeah, I actually enjoyed it, beat it. Also, I'm getting back into Skyrim. So my friend has showed me something that is completely changes Skyrim. So Skyrim's been out for so long, and we have so many mods to the point where there was this group of people that came together that created something called the Skyrim Novice Pack. The Novice Pack is over 2,000 mods. But once you install these 2,000 mods, it completely revamps Skyrim. And when I say completely revamps it, I mean it's in third person. You now have like parries, you can have dodge rolls, you have stances with your weapons. The skill tree has been completely changed. Like the landscapes have been changed. The monster types, they added more. They added some new quest lines. They still have all the core stuff. And it is such an amazing experience. If you own Skyrim Anniversary Edition and on PC, you might want to look into the Skyrim Novice Pack. This mod pack, even though it's 2,000 mods and it's a little bit of a lengthy process, once you get all those mods put on, it's as if they like remade Skyrim. Like someone made a Skyrim remake and then released it.
Oh, okay. So it's like added textures and everything as well, or
textures, like the whole fighting mechanics been changed. It is crazy with these mod pick, and this is like years worth of moddings. So the group, they said they made some of the mods themselves, but then they also grabbed a bunch from the community that was already in the Bethesda, like, little community Skyrim mod pack. And it's crazy to me because it's so good. And it's on the creation engine.
It's so good that what's going to happen is that most likely
better than Starfield.
They're going to copy and paste and be like, here goes Elder Scrolls 6.
They, actually, that was one thing me and my friend talked about. Like, bro, like this is a third person parrying, dodge rolling. Heck, if you hold 2 swords or a sword and a dagger, they got different stances for all of them. They get a high, mid, and low stance. Like it's still the same Skyrim story with the dragons and everything, but they changed up so much about the Skyrim with the Novice Pack that like you experience the same story in the world of Skyrim in the new way, and it's just beautiful. Like I'm like, this is like a Skyrim. It's as if somebody made a Skyrim remake.
Okay.
It's so yeah. So definitely look up Skyrim Novice Pack if you have the Skyrim Anniversary Edition for PC, and if you want to experience Skyrim but with some new, very changed up mechanics, that's something that you can look into. And it's really fun because after those 2,000 mods that they install, it's not the same Skyrim. It's amazing.
Okay.
So that's all. That's it for me.
All right. And looks like we have another straggler coming in. Well, our first straggler. I won't say another. Jubei, how have you been? Happy holidays. And what have you been playing?
Happy holidays.
Hey, everybody. Absolutely. I hope you guys had great ones. You guys can hear me, right? We're good?
Yeah, your audio is
loud
great.
and clear. Yeah, you using that mic, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah,
I
it's
can tell
nice.
your audio is nice.
Holidays was cool. Spending time with family is always great. My son's first Thanksgiving. It's great.
Okay.
It's a good time.
Uh-huh.
My Cowboys won.
Yeah, you can change your profile
Too
picture
bad.
now.
Nah, it's gonna stay like this till we win it, bro.
What is
I
it?
say,
What is it?
Oh, I need a ring, bro. I need a ring. I need the NFL to put a ring on it this year.
Oh, you might have to make a stop at Zales because
I mean, hey,
I want a Cowboys Ravens Super Bowl. I want a Cowboys Ravens Super Bowl. I want to see it.
That'd be fun,
I need
actually.
to see two black
Oh, no.
quarterbacks dueling for the bowl.
The 49ers, they kind of doing some things to y'all over there, so
That's true. Poor
I don't want to say
Kofi.
what they're doing to y'all
Poor
over there,
Kofi.
but they doing some things to y'all over there, so
Okay.
Participating in the necrophilia challenge. They're terrible. Like,
yeah,
they're playing bully ball, and that's great. But yeah. What have I been playing? I haven't really been playing much still. I'm back on Halo. I finally finished the campaign for Modern Warfare 1, the remake. I'm working my way through 2.
Okay.
So I can uninstall them and get them the fuck off my storage space because 100+ gigs a game sucks dicks. Like,
I will say this: if you plan on getting 3, you're gonna have to keep 2 on there because
you already got
the
three.
launcher.
They don't. No, I already have 3, but you can remove the campaign portion. It's still a big ass file though. It still sucks.
It's stupid. It clearly was a DLC. They admitted that it was a DLC first before they made it to a full-fledged game.
Dickheads. It
Well,
would have
you know-
sold more as a DLC.
The last FU from Activision Blizzard.
It's not really, it's not really a FU from them. They don't really have an option within that 10-year contract. They got to release one every year. So, kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well,
Part of the
it's cool. I am gonna probably check out Halo Infinite Firefight starting tomorrow this week. Need to get back in on that. The fact
Hers getting good.
It launches tomorrow,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
Okay.
And then the Sea of Thieves, the PvE mode for Sea of Thieves launches on the 7th.
So, I just realized your
Yeah.
boy effed up.
What's up?
And on Daddy Time, I forgot to put in the header for the topic lines. So I'm gonna have to do that during the show.
That's cool. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Good.
We'll figure it out one step at a time.
So y'all gonna
Oh,
thought it was gonna be a clean stream today. Yes, not.
Also, I did buy the PS5 Slim. It's trash. Don't buy it. If you
Why
It's
you-
trash.
Why'd you buy it?
Because I wanted to see if it was because the PS5 drive is loud as fuck, right? Like it's a problem.
Well, I don't buy any physical games
Wait, question.
that I actually put in my PlayStation 5. I do buy physical games. I do have a couple, but they don't really get opened. So I usually purchase the digital copy and the physical copy if I really want a physical version.
Oh, I see. You doing that for Final Fantasy?
Yeah. I'll buy the digital version of the game also.
Yep, that was my plan. I really don't want to open it.
I didn't want to open it, and then I ended up opening it. And like Cloud sitting on my desk is pretty cool on the bike. So getting him and Sephiroth next to each other, as long as nobody touches it, like it's gonna stay in like great condition.
Yeah.
So
That's very true. We can only hope.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that being said, it's your host Pharaoh. I don't have anyone else to introduce. Sorry we haven't been here the past couple weeks. A lot of it is my fault. I was a little sick last week, tried to get one going, and then I think like a couple weeks ago I just like didn't have the juice for a show. So but we're here today. This is probably going to be our last show for the calendar year, and we'll
Sure.
probably be back the week following the new year.
You sure?
So just be on the lookout for that. I am in the process of considering dropping some daily content on my channel, just kind of getting my thoughts out on things that are going on in the industry. We'll see if I decide to do that or not. If so, it'll probably be after I take this test in a couple weeks. So we'll see.
Dope.
We'll
Look
see.
forward to it.
Yep.
If you ever want to have a debate, though, I'll be there.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be going live, but I might be doing like little 5-10 minute videos, just talking about shit going on in the industry, little gaming news, my thoughts. Like when this Xbox third party thing dropped last week, I could have made a quick video on that.
Yeah. Armor X Pro is still running strong apparently. After an update, they have to update their controllers. A lot of people, it's actually very easy to get around.
Okay.
But
yeah, so without further ado, you know what? I need to get the timestamps up. So give me 1 second so I can timestamp this appropriately, and maybe as I timestamp it, 0 will show up. Let's see what time we got here. We are on. God dang it! I am like lost in the sauce. Looking for a timestamp. All right, there we go. Got it. Sorry, guys. That's what happens when you don't podcast for a little bit. Become a rookie again.
It's okay. I haven't.
All right.
I haven't.
So, topic 1. Let's redo this real fast. GTA 6 Leaks. All right. So today, literally a mere hours before this show kicked off, there was a leaker who leaked the GTA 6 trailer early, resulting in Rockstar just saying F it and dropping the full trailer officially. A mere like 10-15 minutes later, and then blessing us with the knowledge that it's currently supposed to be coming out in 2025, and currently so far it looks like it is exclusive to console with no PC release mentioned at this time. So I know people have a lot of thoughts on this. It's been a long time coming for this video game. I know a lot of people are excited for it. And yeah, so I'm gonna kick this off. I don't know. Has anyone here seen this trailer? I would think everyone has seen it before the show.
I have not seen it yet. I haven't had time to.
You're probably boycotting it.
Oh yeah, because it's I know. It's just god, companies trying to make money with this exclusivity bullshit, man.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's a money play if it's exclusive just to console. It's not exclusive to a specific console.
Or GTA 5 came late to PC, so
yeah, I think it's just a dev time thing. Like we need time to make sure this PC port is rocking and rolling, and we can hit on as many different GPUs and RAM usages, and every PC has its own unique setup as opposed to a system which is locked.
Yeah.
Situation
I heard it all.
So. It might drop day 1 on the Switch too. They probably didn't say anything. They probably didn't say the Switch 2 because the Switch 2 hasn't been announced yet. But it probably will.
It might actually on Switch 2. It might. If it's coming out 2025, we should have Switch 2 by then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, hopefully,
so they probably can't
got the new
say
NVIDIA
the Switch
chip.
2, but it probably is going to drop on the Switch 2.
If it drops on the Switch 2 before the PC, I'm gonna be pissed. That point, I will actually be pissed because at that point, that means you got to optimize for a mobile device, but couldn't get optimized for actual desktop or laptop.
No,
oh fuck you!
No, that means come to the side, brother. Come play it with us.
That just means you have to.
I rather
wait your turn, and that's what PC gamers are specialized at, waiting their turn for console.
That's okay. I got a backlog. I got a backlog of games. I told you, I just modded Skyrim,
bro.
It's beautiful.
We're in such a great place in gaming. You really don't need to buy a game day one. Unless you're just
you don't.
ultra passionate about it, especially considering most of these games do not release in a complete state. And excuse me, people, I might sound a little funny. I got these damn Invisalign in, so it's a little bit of a process. A little bit of a slurred speech. I notice it, but I'm not sure if everyone else does. With that being said, Jubei, did you get a peek at the trailer? If so, what is your thoughts?
I did.
Let me look at this now.
Modern day Vice City is dope.
The game looks gorgeous, especially considering everything you can do in that world. I mean, this is probably gonna, I know a lot of people say, Starfield's the game of the generation, and it very might well be, maybe a 10, 12-year game like Skyrim is, but Grand Theft Auto 6 is definitely the next game of a generation. If they're gonna treat it anyway like they treated Grand Theft Auto 5, you may game of 2 generations, 3 generations.
Even if we get even some of the immersion and fucking shit that they put in even Red Dead Redemption 2. Hey, bro, it's about to be fire.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks nice. I'm looking at this right now.
It looks fantastic for an open world game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just want to know how they're going to get GTA Online to work with this, or is this just going to be its own standalone thing?
I think they're saying that the map from 5 and 6 merge, so GTA Online probably just be like an expanded map, and then probably like you got to download the next gen version to get like all the patches and everything like that. You got to have a next gen console or something. Probably something like that, something crazy.
Oh, so they're not siblings; they're actually fucking. Okay, so
yeah, it's a Bonnie and Clyde thing. Yeah, the Bonnie.
Okay. I thought that because at first I thought they were siblings, but
no, it was never a siblings thing. It was they're going for the more Bonnie Clyde thing. They want to attract. They're trying to attract more female gamers. So that's why we're seeing a lot more female lead.
As long as the story is good, I mean, I don't really care.
When's the last time a Grand Theft Auto story's been whack?
I only played 3 Vice City, San Andreas, and 5, so I skipped 4.
Yeah, they don't really have whack stories because they really don't give a fuck about who they piss off making the game. Like they're very racy, edgy. They stay away from being PC. So I think that kind of keeps them.
It's literally like the South Park of video games.
Yeah, because I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 was the original version was actually pretty raw, and then as years gone on, they toned the language down in the game. Actually,
yeah, they did.
Yeah, so when it first released, it is a much different game as far as the language and the scenes than it is than what you play today. But hey, we got another straggler, Zero. He said he was going to be late. He's here now. I'm going to give him a chance to introduce himself and tell us what his thoughts are on Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer dropping today. Zero, how you been?
What's going on, guys? Hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, perfect. Sorry I'm late. Just late day, making dinner late. So I'll just jump right into it. GTA 6 of the what's like a minute 30 something trailer.
Yeah, and like
minute 30 seconds.
Minute 31.
Yeah.
However you want to break it down.
I would say the first thing that struck out to me, it looks good. Like Grand Theft Auto, never had to be graphically that great just because of the scale of things you could do.
It's good enough.
Yeah, like it looks exactly.
I think it looks good enough.
I didn't see raw gameplay though. I seen all cutscenes to me, so I can't really can't speak on that as of yet.
Usually everything they show is in engine though. When it comes to Grand Theft Auto,
it's kind of like there's in the engine, but there's also it's like I don't know. I just don't know
because
I don't see like raw gameplay.
Like you already know it's running on like an AMD Threadripper with, you know, super high end.
The best of the best hardware.
Yeah,
best of the best hardware.
You already know what it's running
sudden,
on, but I mean, it's probably an engine running on that type of hardware. So you're getting a look that that's not going to be representative of the final product that you actually get on your console.
I guess PlayStation didn't learn from Watch Dogs, but hey.
But
we don't know anything as far as marketing rights yet.
About it.
So this is just Rockstar. This isn't a Sony or Xbox.
I find it ironic though that the Halo Infinite, Rockstar, and even fucking the Sea of Thieves fucking announcements all have like similar concepts.
I was gonna bring that up next.
It's weird.
I was gonna bring that up next after Zero got his point off.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it looked good. Like I was just looking at the character models, like they really stepped it up a lot compared to like even GTA 5, which looks pretty good. I'm kind of happy to be back in Vice City, which I was talking to a friend about it before. The setting of Grand Theft Auto really never mattered. Just because you just make fake world number 5 and then put every environment in there.
Yeah.
So it's better that you don't make it like, let's go to Vegas. Like Vegas is a desert, so there's nothing there but sand and shiny things. You put it in quote unquote Miami, then like you go further up, there's the mountains, you got the beach, you got the city, you got the hick town, you got just the regular people town. In Vice City, Florida, there's mountains and everything. So I think that works. And Vice City was pretty popular. The main character looks cool. I'm shot in the dark. Is there some sort of Bonnie and Clyde sort of situation here?
Yeah.
Did she go down for her boyfriend, husband, whoever? Is he the bad guy? Did he set her up? Similar to the opening of Grand Theft Auto 3, where your girlfriend betrays you? I don't know. Maybe it's interesting. I am sure we will get a lot of well-reasoned, well-thought-out responses of a seeming to be female lead for Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm sure they will not at all be insane, and everybody will speak, truthfully and comfortably and calmly, and like, this is a good idea. Surely, guys, there's no way that I guess from what I can tell, a female of color leading the most recent Grand Theft Auto 6 will cause any controversy. Zero controversy whatsoever.
Yeah, Latina character.
I mean, who cares? As long as the story is good, that's all that matters.
You would, in a perfect world, Nappy, that's what we should always be striving for.
So, yeah, Jubei brought it up. It was very interesting, and I think I said it in the chat like a couple days ago, that before this trailer that was supposed to release tomorrow, released today, the promo marketing, like the little splash screen advertisement that they did, the marketing for it was very similar between Grand Theft Auto 6, Halo, which I think is also supposed to be releasing a trailer tomorrow.
No. That was today.
Oh, that was today. I can't keep up.
For Firefight.
Yeah,
it's great. The trailer's great.
Okay, so I thought they were both releasing on the same day, and then you had something for Sea of Thieves, and at first I was thinking, okay, maybe it's a Game Awards thing, but then none of these trailers are associating themselves with the Game Awards. So I just found it very interesting that they all have the same color scheme and kind of the same style and look, and it kind of made me wonder, like, did Xbox maybe purchase these marketing rights? And that would be kind of crazy if they did, considering now they are the home of Call of Duty, which will all take effect around the same time that Grand Theft Auto comes out. So around the time Grand Theft Auto comes out, they'll be able to fully market Call of Duty as they please, and they could potentially be able to market Grand Theft Auto 6. So I was gonna ask Jubei, what are your thoughts on that potential possibility, based on, we're reading the tea leaves here without any real confirmations of anything, but just based on that little bit of a tease. What was your reaction?
Just as far as like the art styles and stuff being, we copied each other's homework, but changed one incremental detail.
So you don't think it's a potential for
I do actually. I honestly do think that there's some kind of marketing going on. I mean, even did you forget Cyberpunk being at that Xbox event? Like, or
Xbox owns the marketing rights for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, so
I mean that makes sense.
I think it's gonna be, that's huge.
Yeah,
marketing rights for that game is gonna be tough.
Yeah, Cyberpunk's killing it right now. They're still working on a TV series too.
Well, I feel like Cyberpunk is only killing it on the PC side. I don't really feel like it's having this massive resurgence. I mean,
on the console side.
I'm not seeing a lot of console gamers talk about it. Is all I'm saying. I'm seeing a lot of more so PC gamers talk about it. Not saying that's a bad thing, but I just feel like it has a greater attachment with the PC audience than the console audience at the moment.
I honestly cannot say I can't answer that one. I mean, all the people I do watch, I mean, they also have PC gamers, but they also own consoles.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them, they do get their own consoles. Some of them get it on PC. So hard to say, but everyone loves the new DLC and they say like it's a great addition to Cyberpunk. And then Cyberpunk today just recently got another massive update that added a lot more features. That was like a ghost update.
Yeah, you know what update I want? I want that third person update. You know what I'm saying? So I can get third person on console.
There's like a mod for that.
Yeah, on PC. Yeah, I want third person on console.
Mod for that.
On console?
I mean, you can get a good PC.
I have a PC, and I could play Cyberpunk on my PC if I wanted to. But I want that third person update.
There's a mod for that.
On my console. I know it's a mod for that on my PC, but I want it on my console.
Just get a PC.
I have the PC. I got it.
Nappy just doesn't compute. Like I don't understand.
Get a PC. I got it. No bullshit. I am gonna get the PC version of Cyberpunk when I do decide to play it because I watched the show and I absolutely love Edge Runners. Is there another Cyberpunk show coming?
They're working on one, but they're doing a different. Set of characters. So
well, they have to. But
they have to, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I really hope that it's the same studio that did the first Edge Runners because they did such a fantastic job.
It is. That and also League of Legends. They're working on their season 2 as well. And looks like there's a possibility it may come around the same time. Which, that Netflix.
League of Legends.
Netflix
I loved League of Legends, but the way that it ended, I'm like, how do you really do a season 2? It was such a bleak ending.
There's a way.
Yeah, because the other sister, didn't like she made it out, in too good of a condition.
Well, no, Jinx. She became Jinx. She's official.
No, I'm talking about the redhead sister.
Oh yeah, she was alive still. She watched her sister blow up the shit.
Yeah, but she didn't like she was worse for wear after that. So I wasn't.
She's gonna come back stronger.
I don't know.
Like they jumped off of like buildings and survived. She'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I would love to see another season of that though, because that shit was amazing. League of Legends. That's not what it's called on Arcane. Yeah, that's what it's called on Netflix. Give it a watch if you haven't. It's really fantastic. But yeah, sidetrack. What did you think about the Grand Theft Auto pre-marketing and kind of Xbox mimicking it these past couple days, Nappy?
Some of the market stuff, honestly, I'm just like excited to see that we're getting a lot of games. Excited to see a lot of games coming to Xbox because as a PC gamer, we're under the Microsoft family, and
yeah, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it because Microsoft has made it like, hey, if it comes on Xbox day one, it's coming on PC.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is great. If only PlayStation can follow. I mean, hey, maybe Final Fantasy 16 would have done better if you just released it on PC day one. You're talking about trying to release it this month or some early next year, and nobody cares. Should have released it day one.
I do think I hate to like just go back to Final Fantasy 16, but I think once the opinions are kind of out there and they're kind of mixed, it kind of hurts when it hits the next platform. Like, Same thing with like when Forspoken finally makes it to Xbox. I don't know how well it will sell because it already kind of reviewed poorly. So by the time it hits Xbox, people are gonna be like, "Well, that game was trash anyway." So does it even ever come to Xbox at this point now? Because it did so poorly in the reviews. The studio's now dead. You know
what can save it? Game Pass.
Game. I don't know. Because the biggest thing that I'm seeing there is the studio doesn't exist anymore.
It does not exist, but it did get absorbed into other studios within the same company.
Yeah, but it's like, do we waste our time making a port now because the game did so bad? That's what I'm saying.
People hire other people all the time to make ports.
We'll see.
Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. I mean, I can name a couple of bad ports.
It's a game that I think would have came to Xbox, but I think because it did so poorly, I'm not sure if it ever will. Technically, it is part of the Xbox ecosystem. You can still purchase it and get like Xbox achievements and stuff if you play it on your PC.
Forspoken?
Yeah, you can buy it straight out of the Xbox app and get rewards and everything.
You can, and play it on your PC. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait. I know you can buy it on Steam, but it was on the.
Yeah, it's in the Xbox store, bro.
Yeah, it's in Xbox
on PC.
Yeah, so you can still get all the Xbox for achievements and everything like that. Like it'll show up on your, like if you go on your Xbox console.
Holy shit! It's on PC. $25. Oh no. Yeah, $25.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. I picked it up for $16 on Black Friday, so I wasn't giving them no $70.
But yeah,
I mean, $25. That might actually might be worth it.
Not bad. But
okay, that's one.
But yeah, so I mean, being that it is in kind of on Xbox already, I can see it still coming to the platform. But that can't come to I don't think it can come to Xbox till like 2025 anyway.
I mean, look at Final Fantasy VII. That comes on PC. Can't play on an Xbox.
I heard that's coming to Xbox pretty soon. I've been hearing.
Oh yeah, Square Enix. Square Enix apparently adjusted some of their deals with Sony because they realized that Final Fantasy 16 was kind of the last straw that kind of hurt them a little bit. There's been talks about how Sony's been adjusting some of their deals and some of their exclusivities. It's not going to be so exclusive. Or not exclusive for a lot less longer than what it normally is. Like instead of 6 months, it may go down to like 3 months.
Yeah, I can see that because, like, I mean, as you're as a third party, you can't have that type of loyalty. Like your loyalty is to your own company and making yourself as much money, enriching yourself as much as possible. So I can see that. But that being said, we're gonna get back on track. Zero. What were your thoughts on this marketing that's been going on the past couple days, and how like Xbox and Rockstar kind of had similar advertising?
It was interesting. You mentioned sort of reading the tea leaves, if you will. I don't really know what to make of it, because I love the idea that it's just this sort of very funny marketing thing that the Halo and Sea of Thieves, just the Microsoft team did immediately. It's like switch the color gradient. We're going to exactly those Vice City colors, that sort of pink purplish thing, and we're just going to do the exact same thing that they do. It reminds me of sort of like if you're looking for Kung Fu Panda on Netflix, and you might find Martial Arts Panda instead.
Yeah.
That looks awfully similar. And like you're like, this is it. You click it and you're done. And it's like, well, wait, this isn't it. But you're already like 20 minutes into it, and it's like, doesn't matter. You done watched our content now. So if nothing else, like it got us talking about some of those Microsoft games, particularly Halo Infinite, which like Jube said, the Firefight trailer dropped today. I just looked it up, but I had no clue. And I don't play Halo. I don't have an Xbox to play, but I try to at least follow what's going on with that game just in general. So probably pretty clever to mirror the marketing of one of the biggest games that'll probably happen once again within the next 5 years. So
it's going to be the biggest. I mean, Minecraft's still going to sell, but like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
we haven't gotten a new Grand Theft Auto in 12 years now. Or by the time it releases, it will have been 12 years.
Or I think
Well,
13 years.
We're having this
13
conversation
years, right?
about
2013 is when GTA 5 came out.
First started, yeah.
Okay.
So, when people talk about game of the generation, it's almost always Grand Theft Auto.
Well, no, because before Grand Theft Auto 5, you were getting the Grand Theft Auto like every 3 years.
But I think 4 is the outlier, because I would say that San Andreas and Vice City both would be quote unquote pretty solid. I mean, the argument can be made. Some of these do exist with some big heavy hitters like The Witcher 3, The Last of Us. Some of them were around with the original Halos, so as well. So you make a good point. Yeah. But I think you can make an argument from Vice City on up, save for 4, that Rockstar has put out the game of the generation. I at least think you can make an argument. You can lose it, but I think you can make the argument. So it will, Jube said it. It's going to do insane numbers. It's gonna be absolutely massive. And good on Microsoft for like drafting right behind and being like, I'll take some of those numbers. It's not a problem. We'll do that. Or it's like you guys say, and somehow, some way, our old buddy Phil Spencer managed to hang out with the Rockstar guys and was like, what if you gave the marketing rights to us? Which would be nuts.
I mean, I think it happened. You remember Take-Two had nothing bad to say about their acquisition. You remember that?
This is true.
It was chilling.
This is true.
Take-Two was like, yeah, that's great.
I think I think Xbox is really in it to win it. And as by having that $69 billion acquisition, I don't think paying a couple $100 million for GTA marketing rights is out of reach in this particular instance. So I think it may be
imagine getting online content like first. That could be huge.
See, I don't see Phil doesn't like to play that game, so I don't think that
I know
happens.
He doesn't like to play that game.
Oh yeah, I thought Phil was still he's still leading this thing till January, because I'm about to say he's a chairman now. It's what's her face that's now taking the charge.
All right, so not necessarily, so he's head of gaming at Microsoft, so he controls everything gaming. She is Sarah Bond, the president, is in control of hardware, and Matt Booty is in control of software.
Okay, so he's still doing the marketing stuff.
Well, he's everything. He's the face of Microsoft gaming. While Sarah and Matt Booty get to have a lot more power and influence, they're kind of sheltered by Phil. He's still going to absorb all the blows when everything goes right or everything goes wrong. So that's just kind of how it is right now. And probably...
Do we know who had the marketing rights for GTA 5?
It was Sony, PlayStation.
And the only reason I asked is because like GTA is just one of those games, right, where like arguably where you play isn't terribly important. Because as I said, it's not as though it's we're not saying like, oh, the power of the SSD in the PS4 or ray tracing high number whatever of the Xbox will give you the greatest Grand Theft Auto experience. Like that's not why people are coming to this game particularly. Yeah. But I do imagine that just having the marketing rights just puts it out to the world that like if every time I see a Grand Theft Auto trailer, an Xbox thing is following behind it, well, I certainly generally know that I can get on PlayStation, but you associate 2 and 2 together, go to Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, you get those marketing rights, you can kind of get funny with your marketing and like have Grand Theft Auto kind of be like in a marketing package that includes Game Pass or playing on your smart TV. You can
every time you load up that Xbox, it should be front and center.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying like marketing on like for like a Super Bowl commercial or something like that. Like, you get to get funny with it and mix in the Game Pass. Not that Grand Theft Auto would be in Game Pass, but having Grand Theft Auto 6, beside Game Pass and Call of Duty all in the same commercial,
I don't know. Every time there's a commercial break for season 2 of Halo, bam, Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah,
needs to come right behind it.
Yeah, season. Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to see. Like I'm very curious at what the move was. Again, personally, I'd love it if it was just like in a world where they'll get billions, if we just walk beside you, we'll still get a couple hundred million.
Yeah,
And that is enough for me. Before we talking about like, no, we're about to split $1 billion just thanks to our marketing rights.
Yeah.
So it either way, kind of good on Microsoft. It's cool. That's kind of funny. Like that's the type of like business shenanigans that I'm here for.
Yeah. Like I'm not too much of a conspiracy theorist, but I don't believe in coincidences either. When people both have like the same, marketing and all that, usually means something other than like we just want to steal your stuff on the exact same day, like 20 minutes apart from each other. But yeah, with that being said, we could jump into the next topic, which would be, I messed up today, Zero, so you're gonna have to forgive me. I forgot to put the things up there. Let's see. Oh, I can just copy and paste it. Save myself some trouble.
VGA predictions.
Yeah, we'll get to that part. We'll get to VGA predictions in a second. Ooh. Xbox third-party fiasco. So I don't know if how many of you guys, ladies, listeners, are on Twitter, but there were a bunch of content creators and Sony folk that started giving rumblings about, it's been going on for a while, but it kind of spiked up, but they were giving rumblings about, oh, Xbox is about to go about that, like why wouldn't they? It would be perfect for them. Who had a meeting with some Wells Fargo investors, and he poured gasoline on the fire. Kind of Xbox's intention was to bring Game Pass and all of its third-party offerings to Nintendo and PlayStation. But these people didn't listen to the full conversation and the context in which he was speaking. They just decided to run wild with a little small quote. So going a little bit crazy with that. And those Central, who quickly quashed any of this third-party ambitions that players of other platforms were hoping to achieve recently. So it was just interesting conversation over the past few weeks. And I don't know if you guys were on Twitter and actually like going through the threads where people were having these conversations, but the one thing that I really know, or Gears of War, or Starfield, any of those exclusives that haven't made it to their platform, it was kind of interesting to see that like maybe it's not a games thing. I'm just gonna it was a pretty big topic. I don't really want to shy away from it, so let's kick it off. Let's get Zero's thoughts on it.
Let me talk to your first point, or your last point that you had just made. I think that's sort of always been the case in regards to, it's not about the games. It's about where you play the games at. And just for a lot of people, it just becomes with the investment of doing that. I would, for people, it's like, I would love to play Halo, even $500 Xbox machine, of which then you're like, well, what else am I going to do with this thing? And yes, you could sort of like Game Pass is there, but I think that's always been the sort of major barrier. But it's the systems themselves, not the games. I think personally, that Xbox wants to be everywhere there's a device, which at least on paper inevitably means like you sort of will go third party, just because that's how it would end up. And then like if you're on every device and you don't need to continue to make physical devices anymore, and you just push out your content and information in that way, and you just exist as sort of like becoming an actual Netflix of gaming. It seems as though breaking traditional models are still pretty difficult, though, and I'm not sure if that's the case with Xbox doing that.
I would say like the flaw in that logic that it goes to PlayStation and Nintendo is that they lose control once it hits those platforms. So they instead of instead of you make, and then a 30% split on everything that the third party sales.
I mean, they still got a PC market that they get 100%.
No, because y'all buy everything on Steam.
CD keys.
No, CD keys. Well, pause. Okay, listen. CD keys, sometimes I will not go on CD keys. I actually go on Xbox to buy games on Xbox, depending on the game. Because sometimes, just give you a heads up, I bought all the Halo Master Chief Collection on the Xbox app, and some other games on the Xbox app. But I mean,
and really it was because I think the Saturn was supposed to last a little bit longer, but like the way Sony pushed them into a corner to where no one would make Saturn games forced them to make the Dreamcast, and that kind of ended up killing them.
Yeah.
Amongst a whole host of things. But you're absolutely right. And to get back to it,
tablet, or it's on the Samsung app, Samsung TV, or that when it's on any of those other devices,
have been since its inception. And I don't know if Xbox is necessarily trying to rock the boat in that way. They're just trying to carve out their own thing and be that years from now. Certainly, who knows what happens in 20 years? Like, it's just up in the air.
Yeah.
Everything. And like they push out all three big companies, or they, a million and one things can happen. So I just, it seems like a lot of nothing currently. Always been sort of stating like, yeah, man, like we want people to play our games as many places as we can, and we're just trying to figure out how to do that. I'm gonna take away PlayStation people through Game Pass, through TVs, through phones, through tablets, through maybe some interesting deals that you work out with maybe a couple of games that show up on Xbox, and until further into the future where we can't.
What were your thoughts on all this Xbox third party conversation that was taking place over the previous week?
First and foremost, everybody jumping on the story, not getting all there. Everyone's like, "Oh, breaking news!" When that wasn't the case. They take a quote or something, not taking the full statement or all the other sentence around it into effect. Well, we need to do better. Secondly, they just hire Sarah as part of that. Make say,
like, yeah, she's literally like probably the fastest rising exec. Like,
yes, I know. I mean, she stepped up for the hardware portion. I'm like, damn, why you guys gonna move up to a dying? And also, I know that Xbox always has been saying Game Pass is their number one priority. They don't care if you play it on console, PC, tablet, or whatever. They just want you to get on Game Pass.
Yeah, they want.
That's their number one priority.
Microsoft
number one priority.
Yep.
My thing about it is I don't think they're going to get away from the hardware sales anytime soon. All inclusive power over the console side, where it seems only two consoles you'll have in your house will be that nobody can fuck with. Until I understand the future is probably going to be there, but we are nowhere near that time yet. It's probably going to be like 2035 before everything's going to be on your TV. Got fiber optic internet all over United States, and 75% of the world got fiber optic 1 gigabyte internet.
I don't know if you guys would agree.
Yeah.
But as far as if you can compare platforms like Sony and Xbox, I kind of feel like Sony, the PlayStation side, I feel like more than Xbox, but I feel like Xbox kind of pushes ecosystem, software and hardware features a little bit. They kind of push that forward more for the industry because we got quick resume, we got they're the ones that push forward Game Pass and all these other different things that Dom Matrick Xbox One reveal. Everything that we said that we hated about it is everything that's in our consoles literally right this day, and we're using it with no complaints at all. It's they kind of are a little bit more visionary and forward thinking. And while PlayStation kind of innovates the gameplay a little bit more, and Xbox kind of has to catch up there, and I kind of think, those two of you opposing, views and how they kind of innovate gaming kind of stay the same on one side or the other. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought that besides the ecosystem, that Xbox has always been the place for multiplayer, and PlayStation's the place for like good story single player games. That's how I currently see it now.
I won't disagree with you, but I won't agree with you. I just think that Sony gets pinned as the single player experience box because of their first party library focuses solely on that, whereas Xbox's first party library possibly think of as far as genre is concerned, and PlayStation just kind of sticks to what they're great at.
Yeah, well, eventually. And anyway, Xbox, Microsoft are like, okay, we may not be, I'll beat you in console sales. We'll damn sure I'll beat you in all the games that we're playing. As a matter of fact, it's not even like it's not even like a competition anymore. It's like we're not even going to try to compete with you. We just want you guys to play our games.
I don't know
we
if
win.
PlayStation has to change, especially with now the way like the entertainment industry is kind of shifting towards using video game IP. If Sony keeps making great IP to then flip over that way, they can kind of keep doing what they're doing as long as they keep making compelling stories.
I mean, they have to think about when's the last time that PlayStation has released an original IP with a great story.
Great is a relative term.
I would say
like yes, like things like Ghost and of course Last of Us, but that was 2013.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Ghost might be
some people might say Returnal.
recent.
I didn't play Returnal, so
might find it like fantastic.
It's a fun roguelike. I'll give it that. It's a fun roguelike.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it though, like the concept.
Or Kenna. You know what I me? Like I didn't.
Kenna, they didn't make Kenna. Kenna is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of you guys said God of War.
Well, God of War is PlayStation. Like that shit came out on the original PlayStation, like or
that original IP for Sony.
You said new. Yeah. You said new.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to name like The Last of Us, because like The Last of Us is the easy layup. Yeah.
I should have said the recent. I should have said recent. It probably would have been better and take out the new part.
For the most part, I mean, we can say Sony's been a little creatively bankrupt, a little bit. I mean, because all we really got recently as far as new IP, because I won't really count Returnal because they just recently purchased them, so it's not really an internal creation. 2 new IP, new characters, that you have. But the thing is, I mean, Nintendo doesn't make new IP.
Not at all.
Nintendo has a completely different niche of its own.
I know, but I'm just saying you can still be successful without creating new IP. Nintendo sells fun, whereas like Sony sells like this type of story that has to hit, and it's only so many times you can put the same character in the same universe and kind of again it's kind of getting. That's why God of War disappeared for like 10 years.
We got burnt out by. Yeah. And the thing is, the formula is good. It's just specifically with Kratos. We're like, okay, he rages out again and destroys another pantheon of gods. Okay. Yeah. Is there anything new to that? And this is the person who plays a lot of Mario, but I push back on that idea.
Listen too.
But I think when you look at, and I will say one of the strengths of Nintendo is like you're right, they make like games that are fun, and I think for both Xbox and Sony, like they can get there, particularly in that AA genre. Like I think the AAA space is going to have a reckoning sooner or later because the budgets are too high, the time periods are too long, and the return on investments are inevitably going to start going the other way. There's no WarioWare on Xbox and Nintendo that they make themselves. Third parties might make them, but WarioWare is nothing of a little like collection of mini games, which is really good. So it's not dismissive in that way, but that's not a game that Xbox and Sony would traditionally make. And Wario is a pretty franchise character for Nintendo just as a whole, and all of his games for the most part recently are built around these mini. The latest thing that just came out is that there was supposed to be a Peach who was supposed to be like their version, Waluigi and Wario's version of Peach, that Miyamoto kind of axed because she was apparently too ugly. the scans don't necessarily show that at all. She just looks like a girl being. So stuff that I look forward to, and I want to look forward to with Sony and Xbox. They've got to really get back to, I think, making quote unquote games.
Well,
fun games,
not massive cinematic experiences, not worlds that you can get lost in, or 10-year plans down the line of Starfields and Halos. Like a game.
Well,
and like,
Xbox has made a lot of those. I think they've allowed. We can double check, but I'm pretty sure every studio that Microsoft has acquired has either made a new IP or is working on a new IP currently. Like every time they acquire a new studio, they mandate them to make a new original IP. And
and that's and that's why I
Sea
was
of
saying
Thieves,
running my
Grounded,
games.
Pentiment,
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush. I won't say that was already in the works when they bought Bethesda, so I won't give them any credit for mandating that being created. But yeah, typically everything that they purchase, they've allowed them to make a new IP.
Yeah, so if they continue down that pathway with
I feel like Nintendo does need to step out of Miyamoto's shadow and start making some out of his shadow a little bit, and then start making some new characters at some point.
No, I don't disagree. You take Pikmin 4, which is the highest selling Pikmin of all time, but Pikmin is a new IP, quote unquote. Like this, the one of any Smash Bros game is more likely going to be like the legacy of Nintendo.
But we do need that new Star Fox. We can't let them off the hook on that.
We do need a new Star Fox for sure.
Yeah, and use the
I would like
IP
to see
that you
that.
have. But Pikmin is
that would be
can,
fire.
even if not
launched
initially.
the Switch 2.
Yeah,
with
even
new
if not
Star
initially.
Fox?
Make a Star Fox the face of the Nintendo Switch 2, like how they did Zelda, how they did Link. That'll be
Zelda's
interesting.
basically the face.
I might be there. I might be there day one if they launch it with Star Fox.
I mean, we already know the NVIDIA chip they're using for the Switch 2s, which is actually going to give the Steam Deck a good run for its money. I ain't gonna lie. These new NVIDIA chips are pretty decent.
So, and maybe the first shot of the bow is whatever the new Metroid will be. Like, because Metroid Prime and Fusions and all of them, like, we're a bit deeper and, more of a Sony style. So, them pushing that forward with new IP would be excellent.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let Jubei get his second and test drops with the remnants and all that, dropping.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this was actually this was a good drop. They brought World War Z back. Oh my god.
I don't this exists unchecked, and anybody who wants that to happen is stupid. It's not good. It's not a healthy thing. Nintendo isn't gonna push Sony to better themselves in any way because they don't need to. Literally care less what Sony's over there doing because they print money too. For you, just like Nappy said, pay 2028, whenever that is. Like,
I just want to know what I really want to know, Jubei, is I want to know how it's about playing Halo and Gears and Forza.
Oh yeah.
How did that feel? How'd that feel?
Vindication. Vindication. Like, we haven't been talking about this.
Oh.
But yeah, they just want.
So everywhere is a relative term. And you got to remember, the Xbox CFO, he's not a gamer. He's not in them streets like Matt Booty and Phil Spencer. Like, he's just
he's a money man.
Yeah,
he's a money man.
So he doesn't necessarily maybe fully grasp everything that he's saying at all times in regards to gamers perceive the things that he says. He doesn't speak in the same terms that we speak in.
Not at all.
So,
tone deaf.
But yeah, how you feel about those Game Pass drops, Jubei? Remnant 1 and 2. I know a lot of Remnant 2 players are excited now because they have cross saves between PC and console.
I did not like the first game at all.
What?
I did not. Sorry.
What? Why? I mean, don't get me wrong. That's when they were AA. They weren't even AAA.
I didn't like the game.
Remnant 2 technically qualifies as AA. It's just high quality.
I mean, no, that's like they're pushing AAA on Remnant 2. I'm not gonna lie.
When we do the A's, we're just talking about budget. We're not talking. It's just a high quality AA game.
Yeah,
they haven't crossed it to the AAA budget yet.
Yeah,
still a great game. That doesn't make the game any less.
I played it with a friend of mine who already had it, and I was just like, nah.
So you're not excited?
Oh, baby!
Oh, there goes the baby. There goes some food. All right.
Yeah.
That's all good.
But yeah, like it's dope that I can check it out and not have to pay full price for this game. At least the second one, because I've heard more people say good things about the second one than I ever heard about the first one.
So.
They fixed up the story in the second one.
I was expecting Jubei to be like, man, I already downloaded that Remnant 2. I already got like 3 hours in it. Nope.
Nah.
I'm about to say
I don't got the space for that right now, especially since I had to re-download Halo.
Then you get that 2 terabyte SSD. You know what I'm saying? You don't waste no time.
It's full, brother. It's full.
Bro, you
I filled that. I filled my 1 terabyte that's in the console, and I am at 96% full on my 4 terabyte external. I have too much shit.
Bro, you gotta uninstall games that you don't play.
In the
words, I know you don't have enough time to play them.
In the words,
no, I'm the same way too. It's not like a PC, because PC I slap assets. I got like 6.5 terabytes in date of save storage in my PC.
That's how much I got. I got a little bit more. I got 7.
So in the words of the great FC Violent, delete your shit.
But I do have some questions about some of the drops, Jubei, because I saw they recently added Wild Hearts. They did do some performance updates onto that game that no one cared about, because by the time they did the performance updates, the damage was already done.
Didn't they close the servers for that game or some shit?
No, they didn't close the servers. Everything's still up on Wild Hearts, but its Game Pass drop is kind of getting overshadowed by like Remnant 2 and other games. Like all these great games are being dropped at once, and Wild Hearts is a game that's not getting a chance to me to find a second life. Like if it had like dropped like next month in January, when it was the only big game, quote unquote big game.
That's an EA game, correct?
Yeah, it's an EA game, but Wild Hearts dropped like a week before.
We got Dead Space last month.
Recent drop.
We got Dead Space
it dropped like a month before.
And I guarantee you by February we'll have Jedi Survivor in there too.
Yeah, I can see that. It's also on last gen consoles, which is like why? That's interesting. Hey. But also World War Z Aftermath came back to Game Pass, which
I believe international scammers. I bought the game like a month ago. But yeah, it's in Game Pass now.
What did you use?
Huh?
What did you use?
Whatever eBay link Kofi sent me.
Man, you should have. I could have let you like CD keys, man.
I already bought a year. We're good.
Yeah, I bought a couple of those because you can stack them too.
I bought 2 Quest VRs. They come with 3 months of Game Pass apiece.
Other game that you should look into, the indie game that was added onto this list, Clone Drones and the Danger Zone.
Oh, my kids! I bought the game because my kids love it so much. Because kids are weird these days. They rather watch people play games than play them half the time. So like on YouTube, and they watch people play games, and they make me buy the game.
It's a really good game.
They play Clone Drone and the Danger Zone. The issue is that they try to get me to play it, and like the server won't work or whatever. So I can't you can't play on the same console. So
yeah, that's not
them on. I fire up my Xbox, they fire up theirs. It's not working. So
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, they'll survive. I'm surviving. So
you got here with Quest money, bro. You out here balling.
Yeah,
he did buy 2 Quests, man. That's
like 6 something a piece.
Yeah, they
will, man.
But Pharaoh love the kids, and especially his kids.
Pharaoh love the kids. So
He set up that afterpay. He's like, no credit card checks, just
nah, straight cash on me. It hurt.
Hey, I don't sleep on afterpay. Afterpay is great, man. I don't care what no one says.
I ain't saying I don't know about no afterpay. I just know about straight cash, and that shit hurt.
He said, this man said, a pay in full. What is that?
I don't speak broke. I don't speak broke. For straight cash.
Nah, but I bought it at Best Buy. They tried to scam me because I didn't renew my Total Tech. I forgot to renew it. So like Total Tech is like you pay like $170 or $200 for the year, and like everything that you purchase gets an automatic 2-year warranty. So Total Tech. So yeah, if you buy from Best Buy, get that Total Tech. Don't be getting ripped off.
Let's take a job at the Best Buy warehouse. Work one day out of the week. The shit comes free, and you get a discount at their store.
I don't think there's a Best Buy warehouse near me.
There's one near me. I'm debating about it because I'm looking at the discounts. I'm like, ooh, employee discounts.
You gotta remember, I don't really work for a living, so I don't. The idea of like going to a warehouse and talking to people, yeah, I ain't having that. I'm not.
This man made a life out of being antisocial.
No, and this is why that the game lobbies are no longer.
So it's still them 360 motherfuckers around that want to be racist and shit, and kids be around and the sound becomes.
You don't know true like hate until you listening to somebody getting their ass whooped in Madden, and all they can say is like, "Really, bro, we're glitching." Like, it's
bro. I played a game, world, bro. I played a game against someone on Madden, and all he said was the N-word for the whole 45-minute session.
You're lying. He was just saying nigga.
He was throwing some other words in there with it, but it wasn't more than 2 or 3 in between each one.
That's crazy.
I mean, Xbox has a thing where you can do a quick record and report. So,
this was before that. This was like a year ago before they added that feature. But yeah, it was.
Oh my god!
It was a whole 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's.
He even met and he never messaged me again. I said either a girl or a sister. Somebody was getting blacked, and after that he stopped.
Yeah, it's crazy how back in the day our ancestors had to deal with this stuff, and now today we have to deal with it online, but not in person, just online.
Hey, but yeah, I think we got this Xbox third-party time a little messy, not because I want to be. And that third topic of today is, give me a second, people. We go from PlayStation in trouble to let me move this. PlayStation's mixed year continues, and it's kind of been all over the place. So since we have last been together, people, we had the Portal drop, and that has had pretty good reviews from review sites, but mixed reviews amongst the community. We've seen a little bit of false advertisement with the whole Starlink on the plane thing that IGN did. We've seen that people are unable to connect, at local Wi-Fi spots with their Portal to play. So it kind of having some challenges. 1 second. So yeah, we had that going on, and then following that, we had with the Portal, we had news from Sony that they will be dropping people's movie content that they purchase from specific movie houses. So as of the end of the year, any movies that you purchase through PlayStation will no longer be available to you. No refund, no nothing.
Yep.
And then on top of that, we have Sony on the verge of being sued by both. Well, I think they are being sued by both Germany and the United Kingdom for their digital store practices.
Yep.
The UK is suing them for running a digital monopoly on their store and digital content, and the UK is no, and Germany is threatening to sue them. I don't think they have yet. They're threatening to sue them over policies in their store that were predatory towards customers, like when you purchase a game, you are unable to get a refund for said game the moment that you start to download said game, regardless of whether you played said game or not. So you could buy a game and never play it, and decide you don't want it and ask for a refund, and Sony will say, no, you downloaded this game, you can't play it. You can't get your refund, even though you never played it. So things like that. Germany is reaching out and saying, if you don't fix this, we're going to take you to court on that. So Sony's kind of being hit from all over the place, whether it's, not just, dealing with customer satisfaction, but also just legal trouble. And I think a lot of this came to light as a result of having to open your books when it came to this ABK acquisition and trying to get it blocked. So it's kind of all over the place. We've been kind of out for the past couple weeks, so we're kind of hitting on a bunch of topics all at once. I'm gonna hand this off to, let's see, I'm gonna hand it off to Jubei, who's kind of in his phone. I'm gonna let him get his rocks off first, and then meanwhile, I am going to disappear and save the kids for a second.
My bad. I was muted. I think it's kind of scummy to lose access to something that you paid money for, and like nobody really thinks about, yeah, like I bought this movie digitally and then you just can't fucking watch it. Like there's not a lot of instances of that being a thing. As far as digital purchases, like I have digital purchases from like years ago that still work. Not that I actively watch them. Like I bought Lord of the Rings digitally on like Comcast like years ago, and I can still watch it. And this is probably about 10 years ago. Just the fact that they're like, oh, all the stuff you bought, sorry, can't help you. It's just not going to work anymore. That's just shitty. Like what recourse do you give? Like it's already too late to probably give these people their, like, for people to ask for refunds for something. Like, I'm pretty sure they watched it already. Like, well, what do you do? My biggest thing is like, how do you not try or not even make a real solid attempt at making that right for the people that support your brand when you have every like that's an easy slam dunk of goodwill that you could have figured something out. Even if it's like, yo, we understand you're losing this, like what if we gave you like $5 per fucking item or something, even if they made it so you can only spend it in our store type shit. Like that's still something, but to just be like, you're shit out of luck, thanks, bye, is kind of garbage.
Well, what I would say about that is it is really scummy. This is kind of encouraging people to sell the 7 Cs with the way how Sony's going about things. This all digital storefront is really, really not fun, especially with the DMRs on it. What honestly Sony should do if they lose the marketing rights or the ownerships of these movies is allow like a period of time for the people who own these movies just to give a time frame for downloading it and let them keep the movies, and they can do however they want to do it. And basically just make them sign an agreement saying that, listen, we understand that you bought the copy of the movie. Here's a copy of the movie. By downloading this, you also agree not to distribute it to other people, and this will be forever your digital content. because I understand that like this ain't the first time like that. Especially the UK and the United Nations. They've been really big on like, hey, you guys need to treat digital content like it's like physical media. They've been really big on that. They began going after companies, so it doesn't surprise me that they're going after Sony because of the whole like them losing IPs and saying, well, fuck it, we're just going to drop all these movies. It's really sad though, and it's just like CDs are starting to slowly not become a thing anymore. I mean, I still got my dad's binder of all his DVDs, and it's just like, yeah, like you have to at least give people the opportunity to like, if you legally can't hold this on your stuff, or you're not going to hold this on your servers anymore for your customers to access it, give them like a window at least of letting them just one-time download. All you can keep it, but as long as we give this to you, we understand that this is your rights, this is your movie that you bought. You also agree not to distribute it, and if you do get caught of it, you are responsible for all the legal allegations that go for distributing stuff, and just move on. Because yeah, like at this point, I understand that like there's different licenses, and that's a whole another issue in itself. But yeah, don't take it away from people.
I'm not even upset that it happened. I'm more upset that it didn't happen to a bigger company, like that. Like it wasn't like a Voodoo or a iTunes, because we need regulation, and we need to be a big enough thing to where it's like, whoa, hold up, people need to be able to own digital content that they purchase. We like
I said on the earlier in my statement when you were gone, the UK, like they kind of EU UK, they've been big on these companies trying to push companies to treat digital media like physical media. They've been trying to push laws on it.
Yeah,
and they've been like the forefront.
Yeah, we need to own our digital content. Like I don't care how they do it. It's coming off the server one day, and then the moment they announce that it's coming off the server, you have to download it yourself. Something, but you need to be able to own what you purchase.
Absolutely.
That's what I said. Give them a time window. Like, hey, this is going off the store forever. Time window, you can download it as long as you agree not to distribute it and that you're the sole owner. We don't care what you do with it.
Yeah, I mean, you can DRM it to where they can't, resell it or redistribute it, to.
And that's going to be very difficult, because then you're asked. Because the only way I can see that happening is if you download it one time, but then you have to verify the key. And if you download the game and take it off the server, you have to give them the key to decrypt that thing as well. So that's these are
very $billion companies that they pay people to find solutions to these problems. So I'm not letting them off the hook to say that it's difficult, because that's what they get paid for, to figure out difficult shit.
I mean, some of this stuff is old though. I'm like, it doesn't even matter. Like, just give them the game.
They're interested in. It's not about doing the right thing. It's about not doing a thing that will cost them money. If it costs me 1 extra cent, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Which is that's the unfortunate part of it.
Because I remember years ago, I was reading an article about iTunes when iTunes first started popping off. And it's like, what happens when you die? And it was like, well, Apple just takes all your music back. You can't will it to your kids or nothing like that. So I was like,
it's crazy.
You're buying all this music, and you're telling me that, when it's time for me to kick the bucket or something, I can't transfer my ownership of everything that I purchased to someone else. Like, it's kind of crazy that we can't own our digital content.
Steam had a similar thing where someone asked Steam, like, what happens if I die? What happens to my game library? And Steam does a thing where they basically say, hey, you should have your people set up a family system early.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if a person passed away and you have that person listed as a family member, all the titles will just go over to the next person.
Yeah.
But you have to set them up as a family member with their other account, and it works.
Okay.
It's a tough thing. fortunately, I guess if the silver lining is it probably couldn't have happened at a better time, considering everything that's going on with sort of writers and actors in the strikes. WB flat out, which might be considering some level of insurance fraud by completely making movies and then just shelving them and just writing them off as tax write-offs and just getting money for that feels suspiciously like just burning down your restaurant to get the insurance money and never actually opening your restaurant.
But I mean, they're trying to make money for Batgirl. So
yeah, as well as the most recent Acme versus Wile E. Coyote movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the movies are underperforming so poorly for WB that they're trying to write it off as opposed to trying to make a profit.
Well, some of these movies haven't even had an opportunity to perform.
But I'm just saying,
that's true.
In general, they're not having a lot of success with their films. The last couple films they've had have done pretty horrible.
And that's when you look at, and it's just small things, and I think when the small things add up is when you can get people to pay attention. Like, I look through the list of all these PlayStation shows that are losing. I'm not going to sit here and say this is quality TV. The best thing on this list is probably Mythbusters. But that's
a solid show.
Yeah, a quality show, but the quality of the shows really aren't the point, right? Like, it is just about, if I want to continue to watch Breaking Amish and rewatch it for here until eternity, and I've already bought it, I should be able to. That you took it away from me is an issue, and that hopefully, people are looking at, there's Acme versus Wile E. Coyote. It was never going to be a big deal movie, but apparently it tested really, really well, like high 90s, which is rare. So chances are it's going to make some money for them. Instead, they weren't going to release it at all, collecting the insurance money off of it and ride off into the sunset. That's little. Acme versus Wile E. Coyote is not a Marvel movie. It's not a superhero movie. It's not made by a big name director. That's little, but people paid enough attention to this. This Sony thing, I hope, sort of follows the same suit. That people pay enough attention that, hey guys, they're taking stuff away from us. And they've never said they wouldn't, but it feels like part of the social contract is, so long as we keep giving you money, you will keep providing us with the things that we purchased. And you just broke the contract by saying, well, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, all the money you spent is irrelevant.
Yeah, they said fuck them server. They said we need server space, we need storage because those movies.
No, what? So I was there's a video game guy who's a lawyer, Hogue Law. I would suggest you guys listen to him because he covers a lot of law things from a legal perspective in the video game industry. And what he basically broke it down to was that Sony just signed a bad contract to where they didn't have any protections for their customers in the content that they purchased. So things in the contract went left, or things with the relationship went left between the studio and Sony, and the studio was like, all right, we're pulling our content and we're taking it from your customers because in the contract it says that we can, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then Sony's like, well, shit, there's nothing we can do about it. So they just they passed the buck down to the customer and said, well, you're losing all your content. And sorry. So it's kind of Sony's fault for not getting the contract right to begin with. More so than it is that, because the person who owns the content is gonna, do the most advantageous thing for them. They don't care about Sony's customers.
Well, that's the thing, though. Theoretically, their customers are Sony customers, because you'll be damned as if they could all of a sudden take all of these films and say, oh, we're going to put them on our own service now, and anybody's going to sign up to buy that.
Yeah,
like it is the quintessential idea of like large companies thinking short term and not long term. It is most certainly Sony's fault, but personally, this is bigger than Sony. This is like the entertainment industry as a whole, and that's including video games. There is nothing stopping anybody from just shutting off certain games that you'll never get again. That are just flat out gone. Like Scott Pilgrim for a long time was just, you couldn't get it anymore.
That was a copyrighted issue. So what happened was the music rights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so they legally couldn't sell it anymore, but it stays on that. It's still on the Xbox store till this day. If you
owned it, you could re-download it.
Oh yeah, because I've got it on PS3, so like I have it for forever. But to me, in the same way, I'm not letting these companies get off. It is your job to figure out your licensing issues. It is not my job to do it, nor should I have to suffer for your poor planning.
Right.
And they need to do better. They need to do better, and hopefully, the audiences are adjusting to that. Like, the Sony thing is small. It'll take someone a bit larger to do it. But when we live in a world where next year Best Buy is going to stop selling physical DVDs, and then it becomes, well, where do you just get physical media? And if the answer is you don't, then what happens to shows like the Netflix shows, the Netflix run of Marvel shows? What happens to them?
Well,
they exist on DVD now.
They do,
but you can buy them on DVD.
Because Netflix, none of their shows typically. That must be a Disney decision because none of Netflix's other shows are available for purchase.
But exactly, like Extraction might be. I don't know, but there's a ton of original Netflix content that you're right, you can't find anywhere but Netflix. Like, I don't know if Stranger Things is a DVD, and that's one of their hit shows.
Netflix got a lot of hit shows, actually. Original IP hit shows.
Yeah, they've got a lot. Those like Stranger Things seems to be on there. But that's the challenge, and that's the question. What happens when they don't do this and they just decide it's gone?
Yeah, Stranger Things does have a DVD set.
Yeah.
So you can buy the whole Blu-ray set for like $55 as of right now.
And quite frankly, it would be an absolute insult if Netflix. I imagine there's some of their original shows you can't find, but a bit of an insult considering like they started off as a DVD company.
That's crazy. Here's the thing, bro. Do you know how expensive it is to try to own BoJack Horseman on disc?
I imagine it's insane, right?
It's expensive because the only disc copies are Emmy consideration copies in the wild. That's it.
Nuts.
So it's like $80 a disc, bro. Like, they can literally go fuck themselves.
Sounds like to me that the next gold mine or reserving mine is going to be Blu-ray DVDs.
Well,
we're going to go to all digital's future soon. Yeah, these DVDs about to go up in price.
Yeah, they're going to be collector's items. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
get started, boys. Get started early.
I got a nice little DVD collection. I got like a whole library thing full of them.
But
my physical media, I do buy a lot of DVDs. Well, I did at one point buy a lot of DVDs, and I buy a lot of books. So I don't do the ebook thing. So kind of my thing. Games not so much, unless I want the collector's edition. But yeah.
I have not owned.
So sounds like everyone got their thoughts off on the PlayStation's mixed year of mixed bag of goodies. It's really just been a really rough like 3-4 months for them though. Outside of Spider-Man 2. It seems like the Portal's doing pretty good though. But with that being said,
I was shocked. Shocked about that one actually. The Portal doing good. They say it's perfect for like in-home dads.
Well,
Portal that's about it.
It doing well is relative because you got to remember it is releasing and I'm not using the right word, but about what this device really is. So, your regular everyday consumer probably doesn't understand that you need a PlayStation 5 to operate this device. And it's a lot of these PlayStation portals that are currently sitting boxed up in people's houses waiting to be opened in a couple weeks.
Which is why you have till January 15th to return items.
Yeah, so
yeah. That is true.
It doing well is relative. I mean, we're gonna have to see, after the holidays are over, how many people actually keep those devices, how many actually get returned to the store. If there's a lot of defects with some of them. I know I've seen some people say they've had some issues with the joysticks already.
Something that we don't see in value, or probably you, families, and sometimes kids using TVs. You can hook up a controller to your phone and play your PlayStation that way. It's that people don't really think that like how annoying it is to play games on your phone, then you still get a bunch of notifications and phone calls while gaming.
Yeah.
Like some people want their phone to be a phone.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, so
but I got a TV in the house for every person, so we good.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a value that is like I gotta watch my kid, but I can't be in the living room. I just gotta be physically present to watch my kid.
Yeah,
but I don't have to be like at surf, and it's just like it made sense to me. Like it's a value that I never thought about.
Yeah, I definitely see where the device could have some convenience, but it's just the way that it's being marketed, and something that I'm sure you guys didn't touch on, but it's actually very, very scummy, and not really to the customers, but really towards Sony shareholders. They're counting the PlayStation Portal as console sales because they're not going to hit their target of 25 million without it. That is as scummy as you can get, because I don't know if you guys remember on the last quarterly earnings before the Portal came out, they said that they didn't expect to be able to hit their 25 million goal for the year. And then the Portal drops and it gets released by Matt Piscatella, who worked 25 million consoles sold. Doesn't really impact
waiting to happen.
Doesn't impact the gamer, but they keep, because basically like they're basically so definitely something to keep an eye on. But with that being said, I think we can move on to the next topic. I think we kind of beat this horse into the ground. And 1 second, let me throw this timestamp on here for you guys. What we got? Forgive me, folks. And because Pharaoh is an idiot, let's get this topic in here. Oh, wrong thing, because I'm an idiot. Topic 4. Topic 4 is what you all been waiting for. VGA predictions. Now I don't have the list of what everything is being nominated for, and I don't think the four of us want to sit here and do like a 40-minute rundown of every category.
I suggest we only cover the big deal ones.
The game, I was gonna say game of the year, because I mean, I'm gonna be I have my opinions.
Okay, so we can cover things in and around the show as far as what the predictions will be, because we know it's a big marketing event. We know that we don't even see half of the awards given out. We see a video game advertisement or a TV show advertisement while the award is being given out. So with that being said, I'll let everyone give off their Game of the Year nomination, and if there is a category that is near and dear to your heart, like Kofi loves RPGs, you can give who you think will win that one as well. Whatever your favorite category may be. So let's kick it off with Zero. Zero, what do you think Game of the Year will be? And if there is another category that is near and dear to your heart, give us that one too, and any other predictions you may have for the Game Awards.
Well, I've been thinking about it for a while. I'm actually a little torn, because my heart and everything really want, like, it's Tears of the Kingdom. Like,
for Game of the Year?
This year, this year was Nintendo's year. They've had one of the best years they've had in a long time. And to not even to cap it off, really to kick it off with Tears of the Kingdom coming a bit earlier in the year. The game is just a modern miracle, particularly like how it's running and how it's playing on the Switch. But they took everything about Zelda and just like multiplied it times 2 and made it so much better and so interesting. With that being said, there's a part of me that really kind of wants to see Baldur's Gate get it. I think it's just so interesting that like D&D has just sort of skyrocketed in popularity within like the past couple of years.
Yeah.
only for it to culminate in like the D&D video game winning a Game of the Year award. I think that would be really cool. Really cool. But my heart, gun to my head, it's got to be Legend of Zelda. It just has to be.
So I'm against you on Baldur's Gate.
In what way?
Not that I know Baldur's Gate is a great game. But I don't think that a game that has technically been out for 3 years and has had the assistance of the community and like perfectly crafting it and making it the game that they really want it to be should be able to drop an official release date this year and say we're officially released now and then qualify for Game of the Year. That's just me. Like it should be like it should kind of be like best ongoing game. I don't think it should quite be in the Game of the Year discussions. I don't because the other games that are in that category that are being nominated didn't have that luxury of having 3 years of being able to bounce off with the community and work on the game together alongside the community. So I just think, kind of like an unfair advantage. That's just me personally. Like it has nothing to do against that particular game.
It's an interesting question, particularly considering that my Game of the Year from last year, Hades, had the same thing. It was in early access for quite some time, and like it was playable, and it evolved over time into the game that we all got to see it as, and that was nominated. And I've never really thought about it in that situation. I don't believe Cyberpunk.
No,
well, it did come out though.
No, so it released. It released fully with all of its flaws, and then got fixed.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because Baldur's Gate is the most notable one to do something like that, and we've not had anything like let's say a Destiny or Halo Infinite to be nominated in that space. That clearly is a game that like gets better over time.
Yeah.
Or No Man's Sky. So I get it. It's an interesting conversation. I do not have an answer, but I completely understand where you're coming from in that perspective.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like my really only knock on it. Like it's not like that the game isn't good or anything like that. It's just I just don't think those type of games, unless those type of games are going to be eligible to get nominated every year. I just don't. I think they deserve their own little category, like best community game or something like that. Like I think it'd still be able to win like best RPG or something like that. But Game of the Year, I don't know. I feel like these other companies had to get it right the very first time, and they did. They should be the ones that kind of walk away with the award. That's just my opinion. But no knock on Larian, no knock on Baldur's Gate. All the power to them.
Outside of that, I'm still very confused about the sort of action game and action adventure game sort of mishmash that they had with Lies of P and Remnant. RPG. But at least for best action game, I really like Remnant. I think it's going to definitely lose to Hi-Fi Rush. That's not a problem. But
Hi-Fi Rush is an action game? Isn't that the category it's in?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's the only category it's in.
No, it has 5 nominations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have best score, so yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. So yeah, outside of that, Remnant, but my Game of the Year award prediction really is Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
Outside of that, I hope to see some new interesting trailers.
Okay.
I hope Nintendo's got something cooking.
You don't have anything in particular that you are expecting to maybe see?
Maybe from Nintendo side, maybe a new Kirby or like something Kirby-esque, or even like Yoshi, but sort of one of those one-off sideways, was it Yoshi's Woolly World, Kirby's Epic Yarn type games. What I my fingers for what would be wonderful is some sort of additional content for Tears of the Kingdom. Be it DLC, whatever's popping out that we can get to there.
I'm not a big Switch person, but is Nintendo with their core games like Zelda, do they do DLC?
Breath of the Wild had some, I believe.
Yeah, the Hyrule's Age of Calamity had DLC.
Okay. Yeah, and then Age of Calamity.
Because I'm used to Nintendo, like, this is the game, enjoy it.
Zelda specifically has historically had additional add-ons to come to it. There's been additional stuff for various Zeldas, particularly like the quote-unquote mainline ones, over the year. But Breath of the Wild did have a DLC.
Okay.
It was like the Breath of the Wild expansion pass or something like that.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna throw it up to Nappy since he's on camera. Nappy, VGA predictions, game of the year, any other category that may be near and dear to your heart, and any predictions for the show as a whole.
Okay, so for game of the year, I am definitely going to go with Baldur's Gate 3. I play Legend of Zelda's Tears of the Kingdom. I have it on PC. Don't ask how. Definitely more Legend of the Zelda, a little bit better. Definitely like the crafting thing, but at the same time, it is. I don't see it as maybe game of the year, but it is a good game. It is definitely a good action adventure game. I wouldn't call it an RPG-ish. I would call it more action adventure. But just looking at all the other games that are facing it, Super Mario Brothers Wonders, haven't played it. Resident Evil 4 is a really amazing, and the fact it's just shocking to me that like a remake got into the game of the year. I guess Resident Evil 4 was played
game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, not no discredit to Resident Evil 4. Capcom, you did an amazing job with Resident Evil 4, and the DLC, even though it kind of was questionable, I actually purchased it. It was like it was really cheap, like $7, and it was actually a decent amount of content for $7. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't get too mad, and they did change up the story and added some things to it for Ada Wong's portion. So I couldn't get too mad. I mean, besides our old friend Dante, who was probably still furious about that. Spider-Man 2. I don't know. I mean, I wanted to. They played it safe. Then they got the whole Puerto Rican flag wrong with the Cuban flag, and the way how they rid off as Peter Parker was just. I see the frustration that people were having because they could have just easily just kept two Spider-Mans, but a family man while the other Spider-Man can go out and do things, which I understand the writing makes sense, but
yeah, I just
I do see the people. I see the people's complaints, especially at the end, and like it's kind of like I get I get the frustration. Besides all the other bullshit they were talking about,
such a
let
great
Peter rest.
But in such a great year, Spider-Man.
It is
2, Spider-Man 2, and Resident Evil remake. It just doesn't feel right being in the game of the year nominees. Like one, Hogwarts Legacy not being there, it doesn't necessarily.
I was actually shocked about that. Come to think about it, I was wondering how many Hogwarts fans or Harry Potter fans actually play video games, because
it is the best.
They literally have
selling game.
They had a
topic. But you know how Xbox tax was a thing. Well, we know that J.K. Rowling tax. We know that.
Very true.
So, because they didn't get nominated, the best-selling game of the year did not get nominated for a single category.
Right. Oh no, that's rigged. But honestly, the only two games that I see on here that I honestly was like deserves a spot. I think Alan Wake 2 was actually a good game. I think that it's good enough. Super Mario Bros. Wonders was an interesting one. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was the year award away from Nier Automata. So be happy. 2016. No, be happy. 2016 y'all won. Y'all can't win with the second game. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake 2 were the only two games in this group that I think should be there. I don't think Marvel Spider-Man 2, the rest Resident Evil 4 shouldn't be there. Was interesting. I definitely see like Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor was still fun, even though it had its issues. Which I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting because there's a lot of games that can fall in that category that's just not listed. And I pay attention to the mobile gaming because I know a lot of people don't pay attention to mobile gaming, but because of the way how phones are, like there's a Monster Hunter game on mobile that runs very well with 3D graphics, plays extremely well. Heck, Hockey was really a good game. Kingdom Hearts is coming out with their mobile game, and they just released their trailer, and it looks phenomenal. It's like you actually get to explore the city and actually fight Heartless like in your real world. I'm like, what? So as I think I'm seeing mobile, and like it's interesting to see the games that are on mobile just because Hello.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Actually, if the one I'd be bet to win is Hello Kitty Island Adventure. It's actually kind of low key popular for a lot of people.
Game, I ain't gonna lie. These mobile games are starting to they're getting up there. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like they honestly, some of these remakes, they need to remake some of these like games from older past generations like GameCube, PlayStation 2, where you can make them on the phones, because these phone games are starting to get up there in quality. You about to attach these controller, get that backbone.
It's not
or anything.
It's not a matter of the phones being able to do the gaming port. I think that's the main thing that's kind of holding it back. Like kind of like those, because developers can't just push it on there. They have to go back to the game and kind of retool it for the device, and then they have to market it to a new group of people.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo
ain't putting their content nowhere but a Nintendo device. So unless Nintendo,
Mario Kart,
GX? they have Mario Kart GX on the mobile phone, and that thing is doing extremely well.
About Super Mario 64 though. That's what we talking about.
Oh no, the old stuff.
I can play that on my phone. I can play that on my phone in a way.
I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just saying that on Samsung and iPhones, they're not doing that unless they release a Nintendo N67 phone.
Speaking of actually that, I will say that Sony is partnered with Apple, and Sony is releasing Resident Evil Village on your mobile. I'm sorry, Resident Evil 4 Remake on your mobile phone with native support for the DualSense controller.
Yeah.
For Apple people, that is like I said, it's getting crazy.
We'll see. We'll see how that attaches.
We saw how it ran. They already showed a preview.
That's not just Sony, then that's Capcom too.
Well, yeah, Sony, Capcom. Yeah, Sony, Capcom, and Apple. Apple is like, hey, we got this game, and then not only that, you could
like it's gonna be on Apple to.
They got the money. These Apple people, you know, they got money. They pay all that money to stay away from your green text.
Apple and Google give up on new stuff really quick. If it's not in their wheelhouse, they'll drop that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
If they can if they can get it on the Apple TV, they can get it on the Apple TV and kind of have it like it's almost like a console at that point. I can kind of see that a little bit more than the phones long, because Apple's already are notorious for horrible battery life. So you got to get it to the tablet or the Apple TV.
I'm gonna say they did work on their thing, and one thing I will give Apple for it on your laptop.
Yeah,
I will give
that's
them
what
that.
I'm saying. It has to make it to your other device, because that phone, that battery dies fast as hell just being on Facebook, let alone playing a video.
It was running. It was literally running RE. It was literally running RE4 remake. It was crazy, and people were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, how long?
That's literally everybody was like,
plugged
Apple.
in. It's probably plugged in while I was doing it, because otherwise it would like die in 45 minutes.
Well, the question is the heat output, because phones don't have internal fans.
Yeah, that too.
That joint was probably like 4,000 degrees.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues. That's what I'm saying. It has to be. The AR device that's $3,000. It only lasts like 2-3 hours, and they're like, "Yeah, well, it's not meant for you to use for a long time." Like, I can't even make it through a movie.
That was stupid. I don't know what Apple was thinking with that one. The Alan Wake 2, but Baldur's Gate 3 all the way. If it
no, they don't got no games there except pretty much one. Like Starfield got nominated for 1, Hi-Fi got nominated for 5. Other game category that may be dear to your heart, and any predictions around the show. Going once.
Yeah. So Game of the year. My heart says Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom picks up a couple of. I hope it gets action.
They need to have a clean
at
slate.
least sound.
All
at
five.
least, every
All 5 they
category that
nominated.
is nominated in, it needs to get that. Because art direction, it's like that. It's at least win 2 out of the 5. At least.
I would dare to say Garfield, the only new IP. It's only a handful of new IPs that got any nomination.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of
Liza P.
Let's see. They got they actually got a couple. So they got Forza Motorsport High Five.
That's not a new IP.
Oh, not a new IP, but the Xbox games that are part of the Game Awards.
So it's 3.
Sea of Stars.
That's not
Party
Xbox
Animals.
Game. Party Animals not Xbox
Liza
game.
P. Dead Space is not an Xbox game.
Yeah.
Verba is actually a very interesting.
Verba was really good. I finished that. That was really good.
It's actually a really interesting game about an Indian girl who like skateboards and have all these men, and it's like it's kind of funny because
I don't think we're Vimba.
I mean Vimba, yeah.
I thought that was the cooking game,
Vimba's
right?
about cooking.
Yeah, it was like a cooking thing, and then there was like a story that might be about like dating a little bit, and it was weird. No Man's Sky.
It was really sad. It was about her life. Super.
No Man's Sky. Yeah, No Man's Sky is just nominated for something. Wait, No Man's Sky's not on PlayStation?
It is on PlayStation.
What? Oh, okay, so that don't count as a game.
Any nominations like Halo Infinite and
I think Halo came in too late especially with this new update.
It didn't come in too late. It didn't come. The big monster Fortnite, but they got and the fact that none of them got nominated is kind of wild.
Interesting.
What the only two that would be not counting Call of Duty? I'm assuming the only two that is really viable is Sea of Thieves and Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves, Halo.
Sea of Thieves is
those are the two. Those are the two that I think should get nominated. But they do have Grounded.
They definitely deserve to be there over Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
they actually deserve to be
Cyberpunk
best.
Shouldn't even be nominated, but Cyberpunk is
best ongoing game.
Shouldn't be in that category. It's
They
have a category for best expansion, then it shouldn't be there. I mean, but I get bringing more light. It's to market the game. That's what it is. It's an opportunity to market the game more. That's why it's in that weird category that it shouldn't be in. They had to pay a lot of people because a lot of voters had to make that happen. It wasn't just Keeley, but yeah, Jube. Any other predictions you got there?
Yeah. Forza should win sports racing game, of course. That's
okay.
As far as shit happening during the show, as much as they're saying, "Hey, everybody, tune in to this show," I think we're gonna get a release date for Hellblade on the Xbox side. I think Clockwork. I think
Clockwork Dead's been talking a little too much, so I think
Clockwork. I think Hellblade, and I think Avowed all get release dates. At least release windows. Even if they say Q1, Q2, Q3, whatever. I think we at least get windows. I think we're in that stage. And just from the hip, I think we see that Series X refresh. The fact that shit is $350 right now is telling me that there's a refresh coming.
I mean, possibly.
$350 with the game. The for $350 also. You can get just the console or with Diablo 4 for $350. That's insanity.
That Xbox really don't care about their consoles as long as you have an ecosystem.
To make them bro, Xbox sells you on convenience. Once you're in the ecosystem and you realize a lot of your Xbox finds that convenience because there are people who own Xbox and PlayStation who still prefer PlayStation. So
yeah.
But
it's just a hell of a deal.
But when you got that ROG going, or you got the PC and you got all these different devices, and you're like, oh, I can play here, and my saves come with me, and you kind of get locked in.
Speaking of new controllers, we don't know about the haptic things they've been marketing, but Turtle Beach is releasing a Pro controller for Xbox that's officially licensed for Xbox and PC.
Mm-hmm.
Has an LED screen that actually shows your apps from like your computer and mobile phone. Will show messages and stuff. It's actually pretty crazy. It's coming out December 15th. It
sounds like it's $300.
No, it's 200 or 190. Yeah, I might just get
that
that
controller's gonna be cheap somewhere if it ain't 300. Something about it gonna be cheap.
It has pulling rate, so
pulling rate's really. This is telling me that this should be a $300 controller.
Yeah,
it's a $200 controller.
Yeah, something's cheap about it. That's why I said it got to be something cheap about it. I don't know what.
Actually, no. These controllers, like controllers like these, should be around $200. There is no $300 controller, unless it's like you get custom shells. $100.
I remember that the Elite Series 2 used to be like what, like $240 or something like that after taxes.
Yeah. And then you got stick drift a month later with the very low window of warranty that they had.
Too. Stuff used to be expensive.
Yeah, stuff right here.
So as far as my predictions go, I got Baldur's Gate winning it because I remember, like, what I remember from Baldur's Gate releasing is that it placed a newfound pressure on developers. Like, you can't expect us to make a game this good. So I think when developers started saying that, it kind of like made it like, oh, okay, well, this game's winning Game of the Year. When developers are complaining that you shouldn't expect us to make games this good, like, so I think that will capture the eyes of the voters. You know, of the Final Fantasy 16. I really enjoyed that game. So if we got an award for something like music, because I really did enjoy their music, I would like to see that. So I would like it to have a clean sweep on the 5, categories they got nominated for. And I do think we're gonna see Xbox kind of flex their muscles in the advertising arena. Now that they have not have Xbox on the commercial, it may just have Activision Blizzard or Bethesda or whatever. But I think they're gonna have a pretty big presence on Thursday, and they may reveal some new hardware. Like Jubei said, it could be the digital. I don't think they post acquisition to really flex that we own all this stuff, and I think they are very much going to do that in some way, shape, or form. That's pretty much. But I think they want to show a big game. I don't know. I don't even know if is Edge Runners a nominee. It came out last year.
No, that was an nominee last year.
Yeah, but for this year, it's Nocturne, Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, Super Mario Brothers, and Twisted Metal.
I can see Last of Us getting it.
But I think
people love some Last of Us.
This is a solid lineup. We're getting there to an age of like the video game adaptation is good.
Where the video game companies actually care how you adapt their work. So the product is getting a lot better. Except for when like Sony produces their own work. They need to let someone else do it and then like govern them. Because like Last of Us came out good. But like the Uncharted movie was kind of like iffy. So like I think
Gran Turismo's a little better. That's the only one on here I haven't seen.
And they were Sony was actually more hands off with that movie concept at first. They weren't like, it's not really their concept. And then they helped them with it. It wasn't really their baby. Aren't really a great pilot, when it comes to their movie production of their IPs.
It's just so weird because they have all these
Persona.
They're known for single player games with good stories, and so they can't make a good movie story
for their movies. That like Spider-Man is a Sony movie. It's not anybody else's.
You talking about the which ones? You talking about the
both of them, Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but they were co-pilots in that. Like they weren't.
No, it's.
I think Sony was more active in. Not the Miles Morales one. We're talking about the actual Spider-Man with the Marvel.
You talking about
the actual real?
No, I'm talking about the animated one. What do you mean, Donald Glover? He didn't have anything to do with that.
The first one he did.
The Lego.
I didn't say he wrote it, but he's the one that kind of got them. He kind of like pushed it.
He's nowhere involved in this whatsoever.
He's the Across the Spider.
He was who is the writer?
I didn't say he wrote it.
Actually,
I could have swore he was the one that kind of.
He's not a producer. He's not a writer. He didn't make the screenplay. He didn't direct anything. The only thing Donald Glover is associated with Miles Morales is years ago he made a joke pained for him to be separate and above from him. I was like, this is Sony's movie. They made this.
He's Killmonger, technically, and not Killmonger.
He's Prowler in the second
one. He's Prowler. Why did I gotta say Killmonger? I got mixed up. Why is he's Prowler cartoon by making him the actual Prowler?
Know with the first Spider-Man, they wasn't really hands on with it. It was kind of like the redheaded stepchild. They didn't expect it to do well, and then it took off.
Yeah, it did very well.
I'm not convinced about that, considering the people they got to make it.
Yeah, but hey.
Bill Lord and Christopher Miller for the most part. So you don't get them involved and then not pay attention.
I'm a big fan of of the Miles Morales films. So
yeah, Phil Lord, he did a good job.
I have to wait probably to 2025 to get this conclusion because of the writer's strike.
Yeah. They actually, believe it or not, the most least paid actor in the Spideyverse was actually the one that played Miles Morales.
I believe
he was the least paid out of everyone. Experienced one. Yeah, he's the least experienced one out of all the actors.
Man.
And maybe John Mulaney.
Give me this third movie. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta pay the man. I can't even get mad at him for that because Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse did very well. And he's playing the lead role.
His paycheck ain't my problem. That third movie is, though.
What?
I need that third movie. Last of Us.
PlayStation Productions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
I will say one thing. I wouldn't be surprised if the Super Mario movie won because
it's Mario.
Not only did it prove that we don't little kids literally playing Peach's song in their school and having everyone. Oh my god!
And I'm glad Nintendo did that, and I'm glad that Sony did that with Last of Us. I'm glad that. I think Cyberpunk Edgerunners being as good as it was, I think that's kind of like a coincidence. But I'm glad it was as good as it was. But Arcane, glad that was great.
Arcane came out at the last
because the studio that made Cyberpunk, they typically don't make
that show has such an emotional impact.
Yeah. So
like
this episode I hate the most is when he finally metals up completely.
Yeah. I rest in peace, Rebecca. I can't believe she got stomped out like that.
Yeah.
She got stepped on. But Arcane also was very emotional too.
There's only one character from Edgerunners that's in the damn video game.
Yep. Yeah. Also, Arcane. Yeah, the really good in-depth story and the music was really, really good.
And that sister relationship you typically don't get. Typically that type of relationship is typically between two brothers, and
so
was also really good.
You don't have too many tomboys likes. So I will say though, I did see a girl dance to the song Playground, and that's probably why I like the music a little bit. So
all right.
So next up is Legend of Zelda movie.
So that's with that.
They're going
to do a Star Fox movie. They're planning to do a movie with all the major characters, and then they're gonna transition it into a Super Smash Brothers movie.
I don't see any of that going down.
A multiverse. Well,
all the same universe.
I'm hesitant to know if that Zelda will be good. And that's a tall mountain to climb.
Yeah, you gotta start off as a kid too, and
which one you don't have to if you
Ganondorf and they secretly they got some kinky stuff going around. Apparently, they got a kidnapping kink going on in the Nintendo universe.
They be having them Diddy parties.
Oh god.
But anyway, let's roll into these outros. Get everybody out of here. We are at we're at the 2.5 hour mark, so that's about appropriate. Let's see. Everyone who's made it this far, please like, share, and subscribe. I know I haven't said it throughout the show, but we'd greatly appreciate it. And I am going to kick it out to outros. Jubei, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platform. I'm gonna be in these Halo firefight streets this week. So you see me online, go ahead and shoot me an invite or something, or party up. Let's go.
All right. Nappy, where can people find you?
Yes, you can find me here on YouTube, and you also can find me on all social media platforms by typing in Nappy Senshi. Next controller review, this controller got a decent update that now got a pull-in rate of 1000 hertz, which makes this the fastest controller, even though it is wired, that you can use on your Xbox Series S and X consoles. So this is now a good, really good competitive controller with Hall of Fame joysticks, mind you. Also got the Scuff Envision Pro. Actually has a PlayStation layout with this button layout. Got another controller by Zeus. Pulling rate. This seems to be a trend that's going around for people who love them competitive games. And I'm glad that like YouTubers like me and some other YouTubers are starting to have people pay attention to the controllers that they use and seeing like which one will give them the best cutting edge in games. And also, I got a bunch of other controllers I have to review. I'm also going to mention this one because Big One actually reached out to me and sent me this controller. So the Rainbow, not an official licensed third-party controller for Xbox because of the way how it works. After they push out the thing, games Big One push out an update that will still allow you to use this controller with your Xbox, with the plugging your Xbox controller into the dongle, and then it can wirelessly work with this, and you get all the features of the four programmable back buttons, gyro, and all that cool stuff. So I don't know, but I see it's going to be a battle between Xbox and third-party accessories, where it's just going to be release a patch, companies release an update, release a patch, companies release an update, and I see. With the Novelist pack, which is a pack for Skyrim Anniversary Edition, 5030 now transforms Skyrim experience to something beautiful. It's literally, it's as if Bethesda was to make a remake of Skyrim. This is what this will look like. So if you are curious about it and you have Skyrim Anniversary Edition on PC, just type in Skyrim Novelist pack and just look at the Skyrim game. That's it.
All right. And last but not least, Zero, where can people find you and where can people find us?
Looking at the trailer dropped, I think a day or so ago, which looks very interesting. Oh, excuse me, Fallout, not Fallout 5.
Yeah, Fallout. That comes out April.
Yeah. Also, just right before we started the show, looks like Naughty Dog dropped the roguelike horde mode thing that they're doing. Looks like it drops on January 9th. So for those who want to do that. But of course, you can find me 0x386 pretty much everywhere. Find us Vitamin G Podcast pretty much anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. Hopefully, we are on that list. Google, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean. Which actually, I promise, I have just about finished editing all our past episodes, so they're going to all be uploaded. So please check out our history, and then look forward to watching us in our future. And of course, you can find us. Thank you always, guys, for listening. You could be doing anything else, but you decided to listen to us, so we thank you for that, and talk to you next time.
All right. And it's your boy Pharaoh. Find me on Twitter at Pharaoh Bizarre, and anywhere you like to watch streamers at the Land of Pharaoh. That said, thank you guys for coming and get your weekly dose of that vitamin G. We are out. Peace.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside. All alone.
Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All
Vitamin
alone.
G. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All
Vitamin
alone.
G. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All
Vitamin
alone.
G. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G.
inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside. All alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. Discussing that heat in the street, hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. Vitamin J.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J. Got what you need. Vitamin J. Got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin J. Hey. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. Vitamin J. Vitamin J. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J. Got what you need. Vitamin J. Got what you need.
All
Vitamin
alone.
J. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. Vitamin J.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets.
On the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. Discussing that heat in the street, and we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin J. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. Discussing that got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in,